Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Jannu tribe, our brand new tribe for the brand new year so that we can get used to version 0.2.1 of Niche, and I have already gotten pretty attached to these guys. I've actually been thinking about Omi and her children pretty much all night, and I couldn't wait to rush back in and see what the next chapter of their story is going to be, especially because I was checking out my good friend E-Rose's channel and her series, and I was so jealous because she has berry gardens absolutely everywhere on her starter island, and I feel like our starter island is just really small this time. I actually had some people say that it reminded them of the United States, like in shape, but I have to admit I don't see it. Maybe if I flip it like this? Now it looks like Australia to me, so we'll have to see. Maybe we'll end up naming this like Aussie Land or something like that. It's kind of fun to think about naming the islands actually, so we'll have to consider the islands and what names we'll give them and our lore of our tribe as time goes on. But for now, we're still kind of in a bit of a pickle. We are pretty low on number of creatures, and considering that we are pretty low on the amount of food we have and the number of berry gardens we have, that's probably a good thing if I'm honest. I do love to just start having babies all over the place and just start seeing where the genetics start flying everywhere. But I am enjoying just sort of starting slow this time and looking forward to seeing where the adventures will go. We already have one wanderer who has ended up joining our tribe after all, and that's Koronu. And I'm a little worried about Koronu because he is kind of an elder already. He is moving in to the end of his life. He only has 4 days left before he passes away. And I just don't know if I want to take a risk and try to put his genetics into the family tree or not. Right now, his genes, I mean, they're not terrible, honestly, if I think about it. He has normal blood clotting. He has a risk of having babies that could have short-sighted eyes. Oh, and he has spiky body, recessive. I didn't notice that last time. You know, for some reason, I thought his genetics were a lot worse than they actually are. So we may actually try to breed Omi, who is our renamed Eve, because I'm trying to give Adam and Eve an opportunity to have their own unique names this time around. But I may actually breed Omi with him then, because he could have blue or violet-eyed children, and he does introduce the D and the E immunity genes. And she has A and B, and then June, her mate, has F and G. So, yeah, those are 2 immunity genes we don't have access to, and they would be good to add into the tribe. For some reason, I really could have sworn he had worse genetics. So was I just not paying attention last time, or did they like somehow change on me? I need you guys to let me know. But we're gonna go ahead and see. All right, Omi. Yeah, I think we will have her breed with him. I do like that we have kept the family kind of close together. We have the 3 spotty sons that Omi and June managed to have, and we've got their oldest, Tanu, who is kind of wandering around looking for his own adventure, maybe his own mate. We may even have him end up over here at this nest. That would be an interesting twist to start separating 2 halves of our tribe so early in. But Tanu is going to search the grasses over here, and he doesn't really know what he's looking for. He's just a young adult. He's finally come into his full strength. He's ready to start exploring the world, and he's not really sure what's out there. They've led a very, very peaceful, quiet life so far, so things make it very, very exciting if he stumbles on a predator, or maybe stumbles on another rogue, or maybe stumbles on like more berry gardens. We'll have to see what happens. But he's relatively healthy. He's pretty much got all the traits we're really looking for. Right now, what we're trying to mutate in is nimble fingers, so we can actually use this big giant tree. Right now, I think all of our tribe, the Jannu tribe, recognizes this tree as just sort of a feature of the landscape, but not as a food source. I don't think we have a single creature right now who could actually get any of... Yeah, we don't have a single creature who could actually collect up... any of the nuts, because nobody has cracking yet. So we are trying to put nimble fingers in, and we did manage to get it with Racis here, and I think I'm gonna name Racis something different. Let's name her Orchid or Orky. Orchid. You know what? We're just going to go with Orchid. So she's going to be Orchid. Nice, delicate, gentle, daughter of Omi, and the only other female we have in the tribe right now. So I do need to be a little nervous for the Jannu tribe. So you know what? We do probably need to take the gamble. I'm going to have Omi go ahead and mate with Kuronu, because we should probably take the gamble that we could have another female, and especially a female who's not as closely related to our 3 spotty boys early on here. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. And then we have little Omri, who is the middle child, also very spotty and quite interesting to his family because he is the only other one in the entire tribe with ram horns, and the only one born to the new family that we started with ram horns. So he has a little bit of strength, and unfortunately he does have a no paw. So we're trying to breed out the no paw as well by putting in the nimble fingers. And I also want to make sure we really keep away from the short-sighted eyes. In our last tribe, I discovered I really don't like the short-sighted eyes. They create such a burden when you're trying to explore and defend and gather food. And we definitely need to get rid of the no paw too. You can see we've got no paw, the crippled leg, on June here and on his 2 sons. So did his daughter inherit that? No, she has nimble fingers, thank goodness. All right, so, and actually, I guess that's something that Kuronu doesn't have. He actually doesn't suffer from no paw, so it would be nice to make sure we don't keep that in the family. All right, and then finally we have little Kulo, who really looks up to his brother Omri and tends to follow him around. And he's a very healthy little one too, and he actually has his father's poison fangs as a recessive trait, so his children might one day grow up with poison fangs, and Kulo might actually end up, depending on how things go, possibly being a future mate to his sister Orchid. And the reason that we would do that, even though they're siblings, is that in niche, as long as the genetics are not identical, then you're probably going to have a healthy child, even if they're like brother and sister. Not something you would ever want to do in real life, but it is something that's safe to do. Oh, and look at that! Kuronu is way over here, away from our family. That really helps out, so I can kind of figure out where everybody goes. That's much nicer than having the wanderers smashed into your family tree like before. All right, so enough rambling. And yes, we may end up having these two become a pair, but as long as their immunity genetics are opposites, then it would be a safe, happy family, and they would have healthy children, hopefully, at least when it comes to immunity. All right, so enough rambling, guys. Let's go ahead and get the day started. Oh, look at him. He just grew up. Wow, look at you, Omri. You're getting so big. Are you going to want to wander around, or are you going to help collect berries? All right, so let's start with a little bit of adventure. Let's grab Tanu, and I want to kind of have him work over towards this nest. That's a dangerous side of the island because it does lead to the hard island, but it would be nice just to see what's over there. So we're going to start working our way there. Yes, a berry garden. Wonderful. We'll have him collect up a couple. He's not very good at berry collecting. In fact, we should probably... Oh, what's this? Oh my gosh. All right, June, go check it out. Oops, no, June, go and check it out. Oh, I don't see anything. Was it just somebody or something that was trying to come and steal these berries? We'll have to see. All right, and Omri, how much collecting do you have? I was gonna leave you there to help up with the collecting. He only has 1 collecting. Oh my gosh. He might be better put to use wandering around, actually. And then his little brother, Kulo, only has 1 collecting too. You guys, oh, what's that? All right, Kuronu, can you see what's over here? Oh, it was a little bunny. All right, so we'll gather up some of those berries before the bunnies take it. And let's send Omi over, and she's going to go ahead and we're going to have her have a experimental baby with Kuronu. And then Orchid has actually become one of the most important berry collectors in the entire tribe now, because she has 3 collecting, 2 from her nimble finger and 1 from runner's leg, but she also is the first one to have the cracking ability. So I think it would be a really good idea to send Orchid over here and to have her work her way over. Maybe this would be her future nest near the tree so that she can start gathering up a lot of the nuts that fall from the tree. family. And if her brothers are not very good at collecting, it may be very helpful to actually have her brothers go with her. So I'm going to send Kulo over, and he's going to be in charge of watching over Orchid. Or maybe Omri would be good at watching over Orchid, actually, because he has ram horns, so I imagine he would be good at defense. But he doesn't have very good collecting. None of them really do. All right, and let's go ahead and send Omi back over. Oh no, because I moved the baby, I can't get her into the nest this turn. Well, phooey. All right, and then let's see what happens the next day. Our old man over here, Koronu, only has a couple days left to live, so I'm a little worried about that. Let's get Omi in the nest, and she's going to go ahead and gather up the berries. She's probably a little bit hungry. And then I wonder what I should do with Koronu. Let's have him clear away these pieces of grass. And then he's totally revealed a lot of the area. Well, not totally, but he's revealed a good chunk of the area around this rabbit burrow. So hopefully we can get some food from there. And little Orchid, who is such an amazing collector, is going to be proving her skills. Look at that. She just got almost all of the berries off of that tree. Oh, she's so cute. I know I say it every time, but it just amazes me how I get so attached to the different tribes in different ways. Each tribe I love a different look for, and I'm really glad because it keeps everything fresh and interesting every time for me. But I really feel like just a sign of female beauty this time around, so far, at least for these generations, seems to be just a solid coat pattern. Something very kind of, somebody said it's almost like a sense of purity or almost like a sense of simplicity and elegance, and I really think that's true. I don't think it matters what color the coat is, just a solid color coat among females for the Jannu tribe seems to be the thing. And among males, I'm not really sure. I don't think they care about solid color coats when it comes to creatures like Koronu, but I think the panda pattern is just really, really awesome. And I do have a soft spot for spots, as you guys know by now. All right, so we're going to have Omri go ahead, and I'm going to have him kind of explore this spot and keep an eye on his sister and show her how to gather berries, but he's not very good at it. He just got one berry, so she definitely showed him up there. And then June will gather this up, and then I'm going to have him start doing some proper exploring around the area. And again, I feel like this is a tiny island. I don't think the Jannu tribe will stay here very long, and that's actually very exciting to me. There's a bunny! And there's a bush. Oh my gosh, we found a bunny and a bush. Wonderful. I think Orchid can make a good home over here. But that's very exciting to me that we may not stay on this island for very long, because that means that we'll run into the real challenges, that we'll run into the real pressures that will push on our Jannu tribe and force them to be more selective with the genetics that they are going to breed into the family on the next island. So that's going to be really exciting. And it's always taken me like 10 episodes at a time, 10 days at a time to get to a new island. But if the island's smaller, well, we'll have to see. All right, so enough chit chat, and Tanyu is over here. I think he's going to just take a moment to kind of nibble up these berries. Pretty excited that he stumbled upon a little berry pile over there, but looking for something more significant in life, like possibly a mate of his own. All right, and then over here with Omi, we're going to go ahead and see what kind of baby she's going to give birth to, with her mate having been Koronu. So let's see what kind of child they're going to have together. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, okay. Yep, that spit snout came through strong, but it kind of looks like a little deer, and it's a boy, unfortunately. So we have a little boy. Good news. It is, wow, a nimble-fingered cracker. Good. Oh, wow. And actually, he looks kind of cool, and he has a little swimming tail. I kind of want to name him, let's see, Koronu. I kind of want to name him like, I'm gonna name him Nivar because of Niva, the game that we played a while ago that had like the deer god. He kind of reminds me of that guy just a little bit. I don't know why at the moment, but he does, and he actually has some pretty good skills. So let's see what his genetics are. He carries the short-sighted eyes, but thankfully he doesn't display that. His dominant trait is normal eyes. He's got recessive violet eyes, which is very exciting to see this early into the tribe. And he has normal blood clotting. So he does look like a little deer. So Navar, I like him. We'll see if he can really contribute to the tribe somehow and be something super special. And meanwhile, with just 1 day left on Koronu's life, I would like to take Omi, and I'm going to have her pop over here. and go ahead and mate with Coronu once more, because we are still very low on females. Orchid is still the only female that we have in the tribe. Oh, and there's something shaking over there. So I think Kulo, without hesitation, well, we'll have him grab that berry so we don't lose the berry. And then I think he would start investigating. He wants to see what's going on in these rustling grasses. And then old man Coronu, I think that he will do his good deed and clear away these grasses and just nibble some berries, the very last bit of the berries that he's getting to eat before he passes on. So I'm really hoping, and let's actually check the immunity genetics, B and D. So he passed on the immunity D gene, which is a really good thing, to his son. I'm really hoping we can get the E gene and maybe even blue eyes to hopefully a daughter. We're really hoping for a daughter from Omi this time. All right, and I don't think that June really minds that there's a couple only half-related little cubs, if you want to call them that, in the family now, because, you know, he's been up there for a while. He's it's the kind of tribe where the animals don't really get that upset about those kinds of things. Everybody's in it together, after all. And I'm going to send Orchid on over here, so she and her brother Kulo will hang out over there, and I think I'm going to have Omri come over here as well and clear this area out. Nice. So now we can see the whole tribe more or less right here. Oh my gosh, this is the cutest baby. I can't believe I'm so charmed by him. I really am, though. He's just adorable. I love him. We'll have to see what adventures he gets up to. Let's come back over to our firstborn Tanu, though. I think Tanu is really ready to start exploring, but we're not having any luck stumbling on a female as I was hoping out in the wilds like this. So he may be the eternal lonely bachelor in the grasses here. Sorry, Tanu. It was not intentional. And we'll see if we can find him a mate or not. All right, so we need to say goodbye to Coronu. So let's let little old man Coronu, knowing that at least 2 children will live on to carry on his legacy, go ahead and have his rest. Goodbye, Coronu. That's so sad. Oh, it started raining the moment he passed away. And we have little Nivar. All right, let's get Nivar over here. And he can kind of stand there, and Omi can come over and keep an eye on her son and get ready to have another baby. So I'm excited to see what kind of baby she has. And let's go ahead. I'm going to gather up the berries just to have a good stockpile. Oh my goodness, and we might get to quite the stockpile before we move on. We don't even have enough creatures. If I took every single creature that's currently on the island, we don't even have enough of a population to really survive moving to the middle land yet. So, oh, Nivar, why are you so cute? So yeah, we need to have a lot more babies before we can even think about that. June, I'll go ahead and have him gather up some of these berries. And Omri, I'm going to have him... All right, now's the time for berry collecting. And then we'll do some cracking. There we go. Because I want to make sure we have all of the berries before it rains again. And then next time we'll do some exploring around the tree so that Orchid can start cracking open the nuts and teach the Jannu tribe for the first time how delicious the nuts are. And then I also think we need to send little Nivar over to the tree as well, because he has the nimble finger ability too, so he can help to gather up berries over here, and he can help to gather up all of the nuts too. And let's double check what I have in the mutations menu. Nimble fingers and lean body. We weren't really nervous about having, actually having any issues with no paw from Coronu's children. So should I put something else in there? I don't know. I think nimble fingers is a good trait to try to breed in early on. And lean body is very useful for the speed. So I might leave that. Maybe normal eyes? Or, let's see, cracker jaw to try to balance out. Let's see. Oh, there's a couple things that only appear through random mutation. Maybe we'll get lucky on that. Webbed hind legs. Yeah, I think we're pretty lined up on what would be good things to breed in at this point. So let's go ahead and see Omi's next child. I really hope it's a blue-eyed little girl. Let's see. Oh, it's a little girl. She doesn't have blue eyes, but she has webbed feet. What? Really? Did Coronu have webbed feet? I don't remember. Oh, look, we finally have the black symbol around it when he passes away. Coronu? Oh, he had recessive webbed hind legs. Oh my goodness. So his daughter ended up, oh, Sashimi, and we need to give her a little name too. I'm gonna name her Doe with like maybe Doi? Doe? I kind of want to name her Doe with like 2 E's for some reason, just to keep it less human-like and more just like whatever the creature's name scheme on this island is. But Doe with 2 E's to go with her brother Navar, or how about Doar? Doar? Doar. Domi. Dolly? Dolly. Ooh, Doe. Dolly. There we go. I like that one. All right, so this is Dolly. She has swimming tail and she has webbed hind legs. So she, unfortunately, oh, she does have cracking. So she has good swimming, she has really good collecting, and she has the cracking ability. She may be our little beach explorer, actually. We may have Dolly go ahead and splash along the streams of like oh, and maybe even check out what's going on at this little tide pool we have down here, because she'll be able to move very quickly through water. So as long as I get her up out of the water before her turns are over, she shouldn't drown, and we should hopefully be able to find lots and lots of clams to collect. Maybe we won't have any luck finding the fish. She doesn't have fishing ability after all, but she could definitely gather up some of the clams and explore in the tide pool. So that sounds really fun. I'll have a good time doing that with her. And we have another female. Oh, and then yes, A and E immunity. Wonderful, you guys. I think we finally have possibly, yes, we have a mate for Tanu, and it's going to be a little Dolly most likely. So I wonder if they would make a good pair. I think so. But at the same time, Omri might actually make a good pair too. Yeah, Omri might actually make a better mate, and the reason I say that is that he has no paw, and I really don't want no paw. So maybe we would have Tanu be her mate, because I don't want to have no paw, and the only thing is that he has the hemophilia, but she doesn't, so their children would have normal blood clotting. And Omri doesn't have hemophilia at all, in dominant or recessive, but he does have no paw, and I've noticed that no paw seems to be very, very strong. And it goes through the generations pretty adamantly. So we'll have to think about that. All right, I'm so relieved we have another female though. But we can't let up. We have plenty of food. So I think we're actually going to have, I'm going to have Omi come on over. And I'm going to have Omi and June have another child. She's going to grab a snack. Oh, and then I think Omri is going to come over here. I think that's their very first taste of bunny. All right, so we're passing up the bones of Koronu, and we're going to send Omi into this nest so that she can go ahead and have the next baby immediately, which really leaves this little one not protected. June, let's go ahead and send June down here so he can keep an eye on the children. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm very excited. So we're going to see if we're going to have another girl. I would just feel a little more comfortable if we had a bit more of a balance. We have twice as many boys as we do girls, but I'm very glad that we were able to get a couple unrelated ones in there. And speaking of unrelated ones, Tanu, let's go ahead and have him clear that spot so he can get a little bit faster back and forth. I'm going to have Tanu just kind of move around, and it's going to take a while for Dolly to grow up. So he's going to kind of move around the berry bush and maybe like loop his way back. Maybe even explore over here and watch over little Dolly so that she is safe while she is exploring in the tide pool as she gets older. But I wish that we could find him a mate. I think he had a dream of like the perfect female who was just hiding across the horizon somewhere in the grasses, and he could just never find her. So we'll have to see how that works out in the future. And then we have little Navar, who has excellent collecting skills. So he's going to prove to be very, very useful, kind of like a little deer god on his own. And I like his antlers. The antlers were a nice twist into the family tree. I really enjoy that. All right, and then we're going to have Orchid come over, and she's going to start exploring towards her tree. So let's have her brother, Kulo, come on down. And we're going to have him start working his way over to the tree too. So we can explore it from both sides. And then hopefully start gathering the nuts with Orchid. Oh, and it looks like we have a dark patch, so we might need to start spreading some of our creatures out a little bit more to keep almost all of the tribe in eyesight. Tanu's almost middle-aged as an adult now, just over there brooding. So we'll have to think about which one we'll pick as Dolly's future mate. Though, of course, there's always the opportunity that we may stumble on a new wandering mate of some kind, or that the new baby that Omi is about to have is going to be quite unique and interesting in its own right. So let's go ahead and see. This is the very first child of June's that she's had in a little while. So what's it going to look like? Oh, it's another spotty boy! June, why do you always have spotty males? Why? And now we have little Kuro. So a little Kuro, green eyes as his recessive. He has no paw again. He's pretty much not very good at anything but moving around, so he may end up being one of our little scouts, but that's adorable. I can't believe how many spotty males we have. That makes four boys with spots that we have had out of all of the children born to June and Omi. I can't believe that. That's so many spotty boys. But thankfully we have some new twists thanks to that random male who was wandering by. And we're going to have to see what these very interesting little deer siblings get up to next time. I'm pretty excited about that. So, alright guys, things are going pretty well. We're starting to get a lot of our creatures. We'll explore more of the island, but if we just don't stumble on any new creatures pretty soon, we may try to go to the middle island pretty early, like pretty darn early on. Not to put the Jannu tribe at risk, but just because if we don't move to where we're going to start finding more rogues and more wandering creatures, we may really run into an issue with just dying out through interbreeding. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and explore the tree and search his endless, fruitless search for a mate hiding somewhere in the grasses and see what the tide pool has for us next time. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye!